Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game preview, another special Kickstarter preview, and today I'm very excited to check out 4 different games from the Pack-O Game series, Part 2 coming to Kickstarter very soon. They are Orc, So, Jim, and Rum. These are Pack-O games. They're about the size of a pack of gum. There's going to be 4 different games with different mechanisms, different player counts, lots of different stuff going on. Let's open them up, and I'll show you how all 4 of them work. Alright then, so we're going to take a look at all the different games you're going to get inside of the Pack-A Game Part 2. So the first game is Jim. This is for 2, 4, or 6 players. It'll take about 10 minutes to play, and it'll take about 15 minutes to play. And in Jim, you're going to set out the game like this, and this is a drafting game where you're going to be drafting different kids in order to gain their abilities in various different sports. So Trisha here is pretty good at weightlifting, and she's pretty good at kickball. She's not really good at anything else. And you're going to go through 2 drafting phases. So each turn you're going to take a turn, and you're going to pick a player. So you do that, and somebody else would take that one, and then you take that one. But you may also notice that there's some special cards there. Ones that have a 1 and a 0. That means that they are a bully card. Now when you select a bully card, it's going to give you an immediate effect now where you will be able to move 2 of these sports over here 1 space further, which means they're more likely to be played, or you can move 1 of the sports 2 spaces. So if you really wanted, say for instance, basketball to get played, you could move it up 2 spaces, which means it would be a lot more likely to be played when you get done with both drafting phases. So you would continue to draft until each player has 6 players on each side, and then you would do the remaining 12 cards like so, and once again you would continue drafting. People would be moving these along as the bullies go along. And then what's going to happen is you are going to pick the 4 most popular sports. So for this instance it would be the pull rope, it would be the basketball, and it would be the kickball. And they're going to go in the center right here, like so. Now, if there is a tie, what works is whichever one is higher gets picked. Next, you're going to flip over these guys, and you'll see that there's a coach right here, because the coach is going to have an impact on a game. When you play a bully out here, you'll be able to move a coach. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's show you how this is going to work. So, first thing that's going to happen is you're going to pick one of your players, and you're going to send them to one of the spots. So let's just start off strong, and we'll put her right there at kickball. She has a 4 in kickball, so that's a great choice right there. She's going to be very useful there. And then I get to use the special ability here. So move any kid same size. So I could move, one kid to a different area to potentially help me out or screw over my opponent. Also, if I wanted to, I could use the ability that's right there. So I could use the yellow one instead of the red one, which right now I would not want to. Next, my opponent might go ahead and she might play, let's see, football right here, and he might force a kid's opponent's next move. So they would make it so that I have to play this one next. So I play this one right here, and I do that. So let's see what happens when a bully gets played. So let's say my opponent decides to play a bully right here. So when you play a bully, what's going to happen is you play it down, you get to use a special ability potentially, and then you get to move a coach to a one of the spots. So there's really 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the coach kind of makes it so that nothing bad is going to happen there. That makes it so people can't steal your cards or move your cards around. So moving it right here would make it so that no one's going to take my 4 kickball power, which would be great for me. And it also makes it so no one can play there except for the 1 kid. So the bullies have a dual effect where they will make it so that you are going to be able to pick which sports get played, and also you'll be able to put coaches in various different spots to kind of lock down different areas. Once all the kids have been played down here, you're going to check the scores on each of the sides, on each of the sports. And so, for instance, if I had, say, 5 points in basketball and my opponents had 3 points, I would be ahead 2 points. And then I take that 2 points over here, and so I'd say, let's say I'm ahead 4 points here, and they have 3, so I'd be up 3 points. But they're up 3 points over here, and I only have 0, so it'd be a tie. So anywho, you get the cumulative score, and whoever has the most points will be the winner of the game. And that is how Jim is played. Alright then, the next game we're going to be checking out is Rum. So Rum is for 2 to 4 players, age is 10 plus, so it'll take about 15 minutes to play. And I do want to mention, I try to keep my opinions out of these, but this is without a doubt my favorite of the 4. I really do enjoy this game, so take that for what you will. So, in Rum, what's going to be happening is it's a push your luck set collection type of game. We got our handy dandy rules. We're not going to go over them. They're pretty well done. But each player is going to start with one of these cards from the shipwreck right here. So you put that out inside, and then you're going to mix in the parrot into the shipwreck deck. Now the parrot is going to speed up the game somewhat, and it's also going to make it so that if you draw the parrot, bad things will happen to you. But we'll get to that in a second. So in Rum, what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to get to X amount of points, and the amount of points you have is based on you collecting sets. So let's look at the cards. All the cards are going to look like this. They're going to have 2 bottles on the top and 1 bottle on the bottom. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to collect all these different rum bottles over here. And they have a really cool feature on them where you're going to put them in front of you based on how many points they're going to be given. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus. So some really cool graphic design there. Also, it's easy to keep score in this game because the amount of rum in front of you, this would mean I have 2 points. Now I have 6 points. But along the way, people will be stealing your rum. So let's show you how the game plays, and then you'll get a feel for it. So right here, we got a shipwreck. We also have the beach over here. And this is kind of like Texas Hold'em, where anyone can use the top one. So everyone is going to be able to use the 2 yellows and the 1 red right there as part of their set. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're either going to create a set, or you are going to draw a card, either from right here or from the beach. So we'll just start off so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So I would play down, say, this card right here, which means I would now get the blue 1, because I have blue 1. I would also get the orange 1, so that would go in front of me, so now I have 2 points. And then I also would get the 2 yellows, because they're right there, so that's pretty nice. I'd set that up as the 2. And then I would get the 1 red in front of me. So that was a great turn. I would already start off with 5 points. Now all these get mixed back into there, and then my opponent would have their turn. So let's see what they got. They got a little stuff going on. They're most likely going to grab that. So they grab it, and you're going to continue going back and forth. Now what's going to happen is you're trying to get to the amount of points, as we mentioned, but you're going to be stealing your opponent's things. So let's just see. Ooh, here we go. So I could go ahead and steal that orange. Now you don't have to play all your cards, so I might play this right here, and I would steal my orange. Now, one thing that you can do in this game is also, if you can get 3 of a kind, you get to steal any color you want and add 2 to it, which can be a very big point swing. So if I were to find this 3rd orange one right here, that would be fantastic. However, there is high risk, high reward, because as we mentioned, there is the parrot in here. If you draw the parrot, you're going to have to discard either 2 or 3 cards, depending how far you are along in the game. Anywho, you're going to continue to go forward, stealing people's rums, purchasing cards, well, not purchasing, but acquiring cards either from the shipwreck or from the beach. Now, when you take cards from the beach, what's going to happen is you take it, it goes into your hand, and then you get a new card down here, but it's not revealed. So the little community cards right here are going to start dwindling down. Eventually, though, what's going to happen is you'll have 3 cards looking like this, then you'll flip over all 3 of those new cards, and you'll just have a completely new beach. But you'll go to X amount of points, and whoever gets to that amount of points will be the winner of the game. Also, the parrot, if you get to the parrot 8 times, then the game will end automatically, and you will just tally up the score. But that, in a nutshell, is how Rum is played. Alrighty then, the next game we're going to be taking a look at is So. This one's got a Mankala-esque vibe. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 plus. It'll take you about 20 minutes to play. And in So, what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to get the most points by planting flowers in your wheelbarrow and then putting them into your area. Also, along the way, each person is going to have a particular color of flower that they like better than any of the others. So you're going to be trying to set it up so that you get those color of flowers. So on your turn, it's very simple what you're going to do. You're going to pick up one of the stacks around the outside. So as you can see right now, we have, 12 stacks. And this is the setup for 2, 3, 4 players, doesn't matter. And you can pick up a stack as long as it has at least 2 cards in it. So how this works is you would pick something up, and then you're going to drop it off. So you would drop off, say, 1 here, and then 1 here. And then, depending on what the last card you played is, you're going to turn either things into flowers or put flowers into wheelbarrows. So right now, since we played a white seed at the very end right here, it's going to turn all the seeds that are white into white flowers. So now we would have, boom, 2 white flowers right there, which would be great because we're trying to get the white right here, but we have to try and figure out how to get it around to us. So then our opponent would go next, and let's just say they do this, they go boom, boom, which means both of the blue flowers would get turned over. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the flowers into your wheelbarrow. So let's just say, yeah, we might do this next. We might go, all right, we got a yellow one right here. We got a one right here. And then we're going to play this one right here because it's got a white in the center, which is going to net us points because, as we mentioned, white is our secret color. And since we played down this card right here, we would get to decide. Now, in this particular example, there's nothing to decide, but we would get to decide whether or not we want to put blue flowers or white flowers into our wheelbarrow. Obviously, this time it doesn't matter, but for instance, if this card was right here, we would most likely go with blue because then we would get to put 2 cards into our wheelbarrow, which means we'd put 2 cards into our score pile. Now, there also are 2 other cards, special cards around the board, which are the windmill right here and the gopher/watering can right there. How this works is, if you ever drop this one on top of this one, or vice versa, you get to pick which one you want to do and use that special ability. So this one, you flip it around, and it's going to make it so that when you're dropping things, when you're doing this, you start going counterclockwise instead of clockwise. Now the gopher is going to eat all the flowers in one row. So let's say, for instance, I'm worried about these 2 white ones over here getting put into somebody else's score pile. I could use the gopher, and I could make it so that all the flowers in this row would be eaten and they would be removed from the game. Once you use a special ability, you're going to flip it over, which means next time someone could use the watering can, which just means they're going to be able to essentially just put flowers into their scoring pile that's in front of them. So it can be very useful for a nice, short little point bonus. You're going to continue going until there's no moves left, which means there's either 0 or 1 card in each row all around, at which point you're going to tally up the score. How the score works is you're going to look at your flowers, and you're going to flip over your revealed cards, and you're going to get 3 points per flower that has your color on the inside. So this card would be 3 points. You're going to get 2 points for flowers with that color on the outside. So for instance, this one would be worth 2 points because it has the white on the outside. Or you get 1 point for just random flowers. So this would be worth 1 point. You tally up the score. Whoever has the most points will be the winner. And that, in a nutshell, is how So is played. Alrighty then, last but not least, we're going to be checking out Orc. So this is for 2 players, ages 8+. It'll take you about 5 minutes to play. A very short, simple game. It's an area control game, and you're going to be trying to take over control of 6 different areas in the game: green, yellow, white, purple, blue, and red. So how this is going to work is, on your turn, you're going to play one of your cards into one of these areas out on the board, with the utmost goal of trying to gain control of that area once all of these cards on the side are out. So once all of these cards right here are taken, this yellow area would immediately score, and one person is going to win that area, which will gain them victory points at the end of the game. So, on your turn, how does it work? Well, first let's look at the cards. Each card is going to have 2 colors on it, so you can see this one has blue and yellow, and on each card, one half is going to have 1 worker, 1 fighter, and the other half is going to have 2. Now, both of those have their own advantage and disadvantage. If you play a 2 on a particular area, that means you're going to be a lot more likely to control it. You're going to have more people fighting there. But you only get to draw 1 card back into your hand. On the flip side, if you play a 1, you're going to have a little bit less power going at it, but you're going to be able to draw 2 cards from anywhere on the board, which can gain you a lot of points at the end of the game. It's a really delicate balancing act right there. So let's just go ahead and I'll show you exactly how this is going to work. So when you play one of your workers or your fighters out into an area, you must be sure to play it where the color is not. What that means is I could not play this blue right here because you can't play blue on blue. Now I could play green on blue, and you know what? I'll go ahead and do that. So I would play that right there, and now I can draw 2 cards from anywhere. So you know what? I'll just take these 2 right here into my hand. Those are very valuable cards, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Now my opponent's going to go, and he's going to go ahead and go, you know what? He will play this yellow right here. You know what? He's going to play this double purple right here, and he gets to draw 1 card into his hand. So now I got a lot of cards in my hand. Now here's the thing. I can't play over here because I don't have any green, so I can't strengthen that up there. So you know what? I want to play this red guy. Now I can't play the red right here, but I could play it right here. So how this works is, I can play the red, but I can't play the purple, because now that I am the second person entering into battle, I can't play the white, and I also can't play the same color that my opponent is playing. So I put 2 here because I want to stay competitive, then I'll take this 1 card right here, which still leaves me with 3 cards in my hand. My opponent would do the same thing, so he might play this red right here, and he'll take 2 cards going on right there. And let's just keep going. Let's see how it works. You know, I want to kind of strengthen this one up over here, so I'm going to play 2. So I now have 3 over there, so that's really powerful. And I will go ahead and take this card right there. And my opponent, seeing that he is about to win this one right here, is like, all right, I really need to close that one out. So you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and play this white one right there. And he's going to take this card, and let's just say that card. So how this works is, since he has officially won that side, we're going to flip this over, and that now symbolizes that he has control of yellow. I cannot gain control of yellow, which is how I'm going to show you how the point scoring works. So eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of these guys going. We'll just get rid of all these so you can kind of see how it works. Let's just say I won this one, I won that one. This one was a tie, so no one won it, and he won that one. So how does the point scoring work? Well, let's see how the scoring works. So there's 3 kinds of ways you're going to score. First one is you're going to get 2 points for a conquered territory containing 2 orcs. So let's just say my opponent had this card in his hand. That means he's going to score 2 points because he controls yellow right there, which would be great. If I had this in my hand, this would not be worth anything for the yellow since I control no yellow. Next, you're going to get 1 point for an orc that's controlled. So you're going to score 1 point if you have a 1 that is controlled. So let's just say, oh, there we go, blue. So I control blue, as we can see right there, and I have a blue 1 right here, so that's going to be worth 1 point. Last but not least, you're going to get 1 point for each area you control in general. Tally up the points. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner of the game, and that, in a nutshell, is how Orc is played. Alrighty, the Pack of Games Series Part 2 is going to be on Kickstarter very, very soon. I'll be sure to post the Kickstarter link down below. Now, I do want to address one thing real quick. Normally when I do a preview, that's because I dislike a Kickstarter game. Just a little food for thought there. That's not necessarily the case with this game because there's actually 4 games. So I can't really give pros and I can't really give cons because I'm going to be doing 4 completely different games that have lots of different things going on. But if Pack a Game looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to check out the Kickstarter link down below. Tell them Bowers Game Corner sent you. And in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite flavor of gum. For me personally, they got this orange sherbet one that tastes like a dreamsicle. Oh, it's the best. That's my personal favorite. But let me know in the comments below. Gum, do you chew it? What's your favorite flavor? Let me know. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.